Jeanine Pirro, you could do this. You're tough enough to do this segment outside.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Why, you want to go outside?
No, I don't want to go outside with you. It's okay.
You don't want to?
What was your impression yesterday of the indoor session for 77 minutes?
For 77 minutes, I think it was vintage Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump got up yesterday morning and said, I've had it. I've had it with this fake news hogwash. I've had it with my people spending time going out there and trying to rebut what they're saying. I'm going to go out there myself. I'm going to talk to the people. I'm going to answer every question. I'm done with this. And then we're going back to work. We're going back. We're going to talk to the people. We're going to North Carolina. We're going to Orlando. Enough of this hogwash.
You know, it's interesting. The day before, there was some pushback in the mainstream media because they said, look, over the last 3 appearances, he's only asked questions of conservative media outlets, whereas yesterday he took all comers, and they didn't like the fact that he was talking directly at them and not just calling them fake news, but calling them very fake news. Watch.
I turn on the TV, open the newspapers, and I see stories of chaos. Chaos. Yet it is the exact opposite. This administration is running like a fine-tuned machine, despite the fact that I can't get my cabinet approved. I just see many, many untruthful things. And I'll tell you what else I see. I see tone. You know the word tone. The tone is such hatred. I'm really not a bad person, by the way. No, that's how I won. I won with news conference and probably speeches. I certainly didn't win by people listening to you people, that's for sure. But I'm having a good time. Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people. But I'm not ranting and raving. I love this. I'm having a good time doing it.
So, and of course, the press said he was ranting and raving, as he predicted. But they don't like him because he's going over the head of the press, directly to the people on appearances like that, Twitter, stuff like that.
Well, yes, and that's how he won. And I think that, look, if he just stood back and took what they're dishing out to him, for the next 4 years, he'll be out there trying to rebut or explain or be on the defense, as one of your guests said earlier. The truth is, he is not that kind of guy. He's not afraid of anybody. He'll go into the lion's den with the lions and come out the winner. He's done it before. And he's basically saying to everybody, I'm not afraid of you. And as you referenced earlier, he will call on the people who say, oh, he's not calling on me, Ma. He's really not calling on me. He'll call on him and call on him again, and what else do you want? You know, and he had a sense of humor, and America loves that. And you know what? The left wing can go crazy, the media can go crazy, but for the first time, I think America is starting to understand, you know what? This fourth estate, this media, for which there is no real oversight, is not really telling us the truth. And this guy, if anyone is going to bring them down, it's going to be Donald Trump.
Well, you know, part of the problem for the stories that have come out regarding Russia and things like that, there's somebody inside the government who's actually got their hands on secret documents, and they're leaking it to the press. The press, you get that story, you're going to run it. But somebody inside the government, and yesterday Donald Trump talked a little bit about the leakers, they're going to find them and prosecute them.
I don't think there's any question about that. And I had people predict that to me before Donald Trump took over as president, who said that there are people in the intelligence community who are so livid about what Donald Trump is saying about them that they will retaliate. And what you've seen is what they did. They were in a position to do it, and they leaked it. And this, by the way, they don't play around. And what the president has to do is make clear that he doesn't play around either and prosecute them for the leaks. I mean, this is classified information, serious stuff. And if they're going to play this game, and they are, because these are Obama people who are leftovers. And what Donald Trump needs to do is move into the bureaucracies and find out who the leakers are, because a lot of these people are very much embedded into the system. He has to find out who they are, and that's not going to be easy.
Reince Priebus was just on with us, and he talked about the whole Russia situation and how he's dealing with it.
I have talked to the highest levels of intelligence officials, and they have assured me that the New York Times story about constant contacts is grossly overstated and inaccurate. Trump saved the coal industry yesterday. These meetings, these days, these bill signings, these executive orders, they don't happen by accident. They happen because a lot of people are working very hard, but when you have to spend half your day putting out phony stories, obviously becomes a distraction.
Jeanine, what's your reaction?
And that's the truth. I mean, they've done more than any other president has done, I believe, in this short period of time. And I'm going to be doing my open on that this weekend. And yet they're constantly on defense. And they can't get their cabinet, a lot of the cabinet approved. And they want to do a job. And I think America's going to see they're going to do a job. And Ryan's just indicated what the president does. Look, this guy's a machine. He is a force of nature. You can't stop him. You criticize him, but you're not going to stop him. And
Judge, let's talk about this group of ladies in Arizona. Their moms, their grandmothers, they're wearing T-shirts that say, haters gonna hate. They walk into Nordstrom because Nordstrom dropped Ivanka's line. They walk in there and they say, we want to pick up the phone while we're in your store and we want to cancel our accounts and we're going to start shopping at Dillard's. They have a video where they're holding wads of cash. I think we can play some of the video. Here it is. Watch this.
I've been shopping at Nordstrom's for 30 years, and because of your decision to drop Ivanka Trump, I will no longer shop at your store, nor will my husband or our 9 children or our 8 grandchildren.
Going to Dillard's. Going to Dillard's.
Headed to Dillard's to buy all kinds of stuff.
What these people did not understand, Nordstrom's, when they capitulated to this hashtag grab your wallet and dumping Ivanka Trump's brand, what they didn't understand was that silent majority that voted Donald Trump in is not happy with department stores becoming political. That's not why we shop at a store. We shop at a store to buy things. And you want to be political and capitulate to women who say that they're all about women, but will trash Ivanka Trump in a second because they don't like her father's politics, well, they will suffer the consequences. Shame on them.
But Grab Your Wallet campaign has been effective. That campaign that came up that anything that Donald Trump was associated with was going to be attacked, they're making progress, too. That's why I think that Under Armour really capitulated so quick. Not only do they have investors to worry about, they're worried about their brand.
Well, you've seen what's happening in America now, Brian. People capitulate to anyone complaining about political correctness. Sooner or later, they're going to get it that, you know, with Dillard's and Nordstrom, as so clearly stated here, people are not happy with that.
But can you imagine 8 years ago had some people started to boycott companies or organizations because they supported Barack Obama? All those people would be called racist.
Oh, yeah, it's a different game now. And you know what? I think that what we've got to do is just, stay on message. Ivanka Trump's brand, by the way, is up 21% in the last year. She is a strong woman. She is not going to capitulate either to some of these classless women who want to tear her down in spite of the fact that she's got a successful
Wait a minute,
line.
her profits are up? Nordstrom's saying they're not. So is that fake news?
You think placement has something to do with it, or that they capitulated to political correctness of people they think they are important? The people who are important are the people who pay for Nordstrom's. Shame on them.
All right, here's somebody you're going to watch this weekend. Judge Jeanine, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judge.
Good to be here.
Thanks for the...
I listened to a press conference in the wake of yet another attack on a police officer. I was furious, and one of these men has me fuming. Within hours of the shooting of Philadelphia police officer Jesse Hartnett, who was sitting alone in his police cruiser, Mayor Kenney of Philadelphia makes one of the most astounding, asinine statements that I've heard since the last time I listened to a White House press conference. Take a listen.
In no way, shape, or form does anyone in this room believe that Islam or the teaching of Islam has anything to do with what you've seen on that screen. That is abhorrent. It's terrible, and it does not represent the religion in any way, shape, or form, or any of its teachings.
What? A hero sitting by himself, guarding the community in the city of brotherly love, almost assassinated by this man. And you bring your nonsense, apologetic, politically incorrect baloney to a law enforcement press conference? Hey, Mayor Kennedy, in case you forgot, Philadelphia is the place where the Declaration of Independence was signed and the Constitution was written. Its location is the symbol of freedom where Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell sit. Last I checked, the First Amendment reigned supreme. Who are you to tell me what the shooter's motivations are when your own police department has a video confession of the shooter himself admitting what his motivations are?
We had the suspect upstairs, the homicide unit, talk to him. Right away, he didn't have anything to say, but then he stated that he pledges his allegiance to Islamic State. He follows Allah, and that is the reason he was called upon to do this.
How dare you take the sympathy away from the victim, Officer Hartnett, and the men and women in blue under siege every day in this country by the haters, and turn it into sympathy and understanding for a different group? I don't need you to tell me or lecture me what I should be thinking because you want to suck up to the commander-in-chief. So how about you drop your liberal ideological nonsense and stop apologizing and start focusing on the threats to kill those in your department? And I don't know if you need to see an eye doctor, but the man is wearing Muslim garb. He has sworn allegiance to ISIS. He told the cops he did it for Allah and ISIS. His own mother says he's a devout Muslim. Are you stupid? And you're not alone in your stupidity. On December 17th, 70 Democrats in the House of Representatives introduced House Resolution 569, a resolution condemning violence, bigotry, and hateful rhetoric toward Muslims in the United States. Those congressmen and women resolved to express their condolences for the victims of anti-Muslim hate crimes. No mention of Christians and Jews. 2 weeks after the Islamic State-inspired massacre of Americans in San Bernardino, California. And add to that, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, within days of that massacre, expressing her greatest fear is anti-Muslim rhetoric that might lead to violence. All of this, folks, is a direct violation of the First Amendment right to free speech. Yes, offensive speech is protected. And need I remind anyone that the First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion or abridging freedom of speech. These folks don't seem to understand that they are violating our free speech rights under the First Amendment. Offensive speech is protected, and Congress is forbidden from promoting one religion over another. Now, I have feared for some time that Sharia law is already here. This resolution is an affront to the freedom of religion by prioritizing one over others. By the way, this resolution and the names of those who sponsored it are on my Facebook page. So, Mr. Mayor, stop mouthing off when you don't know the facts, because you're pandering either to the White House and the political class that is taking us down this road. Why don't you start by offering your sympathies to Officer Hartnett, his family, and the families of those Americans killed in California?